All right, we are live on Facebook. Hey, y'all, welcome to Freedom Friday. This is Juneteenth, and it is what we are calling Freedom Friday. This is the time where we talk about and when we celebrate the freedom of being able to just move forward in the things that we are or have been called to do, move forward in the things that we're building, move forward in all aspects of our lives. And we are celebrating moving forward without the need to ask for permission. So I am super excited. I have not been here in a while, and I'm excited to be here with Danielle so that we can have this conversation. So Danielle, if you want to introduce yourself to the people, I guess tell them anything you want them to know for those who don't already know, and then I'll follow suit.
Absolutely. Well, I'm Danielle Bertrand. Many of you probably know me as Girl Is Go Time, but with permission to move, we have moved right along to something else that God has put a burden on my heart to do, being the preventative burnout specialist. And so what that means is burnout will not bury you, at least not on my watch. So if we're connected, is for a reason. And I'm super excited that we get to enjoy Freedom Friday. And it means a whole lot of things to a whole lot of people. And we will share more about what it means to us, especially on this day. So super excited to get into a very relaxed conversation that is very meat. You know, it's gonna be a mouthful, but you're gonna be able to digest it. But a lot of this came from, hey, we see y'all in the comments. A lot of this came from private conversations. And so we're excited to share what we be having going on in our 3-4 hour conversations on the phone.
Absolutely. So yeah, as Danielle said, y'all, we have been having these conversations, and I see y'all coming in. Make sure you are tagging your people. Thank y'all for showing up for us, showing out. Tag your people. Let them know that this is a conversation that they do not want to miss. If you are a part of a community or any of that, be sure to tag your people and get them in here. If you know somebody has been sitting on the sideline and just not moving forward, get them in the room. Let them know that there are two people, two voices that you trust who are live, and it's gonna be a thing. Danielle has told you all about who she is. I'm going to tell you a little bit about who I am and what I do in this season. I am Jade Williams. I am all things money, mindset, and motivation. I think that's the easiest way to just sum up all of what I do. Many of you know me as an accountant or tax professional, and so you've met me in that space over the years. Obviously, things have evolved and transitioned, and so now I function more in a visibility, sustainability, profitability space. So I don't really have a lot. I just am excited to be here, excited for us to have this conversation, and really just I'm excited about all that is going to, transform after this. So I'll say this. I think, hey y'all, make sure y'all tagging y'all people. I'll say this. I think a lot of how we got here, how we got into this space, as Danielle mentioned just a little bit, we have been having back end conversations. We've been talking about the things that we need to do. We've been talking about how we need to move forward, how God has called us to do this, that, and the other. And I think a lot of the problem I know for me was that I want to present as the finished work. Like, hey, I wanted to come in and let the beginning be the end, right? So those of us who are creatives and we are, we have all of these ideas and things, we come in and we want it to look like what we saw at the end. Yeah. However, one of the things that I've said for years was that there is a process to get to the promise. And a lot of times when we're even in our building phase, we don't think about the process. We don't look at like, this is what the process looks like in order to get to that end goal, right? The end goal being the promise. And so we were just like, hey, we felt like, I know we ain't the only ones. Like, can we just make this a public conversation, but not just have a conversation? Let us just help the people. You know what I mean? And so, Danielle, I guess, whatever you feel led to lead into from this, I think the conversation stems from here. And make sure as y'all in these comments, y'all are tagging, y'all talking back, talk to us. We talk back, okay? We are not just some statue that's sitting here. So please talk to us.
Please do. And we see your comments. Hey, welcome. Let us know where you're from. We would love to know that as well. And not just so we know, oh, was such and such watching for this. No, somebody might be in your city that you can do life with. So this is not for our benefit. It is absolutely for yours to make those connections. And so what I'll say about how we kind of led to this and the permission piece, right? Because that's what had been the struggle. Because one time, depending on when you met us, baby, we was on Facebook Live, IG Live, we was in comments, we were doing all of the things consistently. Like we had, hey, every Tuesday this is happening. It was very much so happening at a rapid speed. And I know for me, that was going, and then it felt like I shifted. I can't even say back to where I was, but it was like, let me pull back a little bit. And I didn't feel like I was being pushed back, but I did pull back. It started to feel like, okay, well, if you don't show up like this, like Jade said, if it's not perfect, you're not even worthy to show up anymore. And what the enemy was doing is saying, hey, your voices actually do have weight. So if I can present all of these other voices and you start comparing yourself to this, you will stop talking. Because actually the voices he's been comparing us to actually don't even have the expertise. They don't have the anointing. They don't have anything that we were walking in, but we started to see it in a different light. And so we became quiet, always watching, but still very quiet. And we know that we're connected to a bunch of people that have the same feeling, right? Like you used to always have events, you was always out networking and all that stuff, but there was a period of time when you got quiet, and because that period of time has come to an end, hey, it's Freedom Friday. That period of time has come to an end. We were talking about permission and what that looks like, who you need permission from, what does permission look like? And so that's what kind of led us into this conversation.
Yeah. So a lot, right? A lot led up to this moment. And again, being so selfless to say, hey, let's take our conversation public, because we can't be the only ones that have dealt with this, right? We can't be the only ones who have navigated needing permission or that feeling of needing permission, because the reality is, do you really need that? Is it really a requirement for what it is that you are called to do, what it is that your assignment is in this season? And a lot of times, I think the reality is, and what we came to was that it's not a requirement. So one of the things that I know I had dealt with was like over preparing, like just in a perpetual state of preparation. Like, okay, so I feel like it's done, but then, well, maybe that's not it. Again, like wanting it to look like the end. You know, we start with the end in mind, but the reality is we build with the end in mind. Like we don't, the nuance is that we can build something keeping the end in mind, but you can't build the end in the beginning, right? So if you build a house, but you complete the house first without even handling all of the inside necessary pieces before that, so you've laid no foundation or any of that, then what is going to happen? Like the house is not even a house, right? It's going to crumble. So that was it for me. I think it was the over preparing and realizing that, girl, you don't need all of this stuff to do what it is that God has said to do. And then the harsh reality that, okay, if you don't do it, then he'll get somebody else to do it. You know, we like to say, oh, well, they stole my idea. They did this, they did that. What I was supposed to do. And again, we have this sense of entitlement that God is just going to wait for us. Like, well, I'm going to wait for you to get it together. And when the reality is, and I know you and I've said it over the years, hey, we have everything that we need. So again, I think today, again, as Freedom Friday is, you know, we blackity black. We do that part. But this is a different conversation. This freedom is about, you know, again, releasing ourselves from pressure, from performance, and from all of the things that we don't necessarily need, from that over preparation. So I guess, Danielle, for you, do you deal with the whole like over preparing, or like what has been your biggest, you know, like hang up, I guess, in a sense?
I guess my biggest hang up, especially in this season, is starting to talk, right? Like, oh, I'm going live and I do it or whatever. And then I'm like, y'all got too much going on. Let me just go back and sit down, because what? Like, we ain't got to do all that. And then I think, again, hearing people with the audacity to be the ones in the front, and they actually not called to do that. And so it's like, and because so much of that is happening, when people with a real voice start to speak, people start thinking you a scam. And it's like, yeah, that's what they were doing, and you believe them, and you got your feelings hurt because you found out it wasn't real. And now when somebody else comes, you're very skeptical about all of the things that they're saying. And so it was like, well, I'm not even about to put myself in that position for you to think I'm a scam. You just ain't gonna know me at all. Like, whatever. If you want to go with that and sit and not have the resources you need, fine. That's fine. I'm good. Like, that's what it really felt like. But when we talk about permission, my permission was, and even to this, to get to where we are, you know what the permission was? To put it on the calendar.
Mm-hmm.
That was the only permission we needed. And who gave us the permission? Nobody. We just decided, okay, we're having this conversation. Let's put it on the calendar. And sometimes it's just as easy as that. Sometimes we're waiting for people to platform us. So we're waiting for this big call from this brand. You've been wanting brand deals, and you're like, well, until this company calls, I guess I'm not good enough. And the reality is, you are the person that has been holding you back anyway. And getting down to the nitty gritty of why have you been held back? What do you need to do in this season to move yourself forward? Especially when God already told you to move. That's like you as a kid, you want to go outside and play. Mm-hmm. And your mama said, okay, well, you can go outside and play tomorrow. All right, so she done already told you what day, but tomorrow comes and you still sitting there, and your mama like, well, why are you still sitting there? Well, I was trying to see and wait for you to tell me I can go outside and play, but she already did. You're waiting on permission when you already got permission from the person that was the authority to give you the permission. God has already told you to move, and then you go and pray to God about moving. Like, it don't make sense. Yeah. Because it has, but that's our insecurity. Well, I know mama told me to go out and play, but I didn't make my bed this morning. So I don't know if I deserve to go out. It becomes a lot of those things. We start judging ourselves so harshly that we don't know if we deserve what God said we had permission to do. Mm-hmm. We don't know if we are capable. We don't know if we can carry the weight of it or whatever the case is. And he's like, but I already said, so you're not actually waiting on me. You waiting on you.
That's good.
You're waiting on you.
That's good. You are waiting on you. Listen, y'all real quiet in these comments. We see y'all on here, but y'all real quiet in these comments. And so I'm going to say the mic drop was, you are waiting on you. And that was the reality for me. Like, I was waiting on me. You know, again, like you say, hey, we like to say these things like, oh, well, I'm just waiting on the Lord. And we hear it all the time. We've heard it for generations. Like, oh, I'm just waiting on the Lord. When the reality is, and I ain't going to go too deep in the word, but the reality is that's just not even biblical, right? To just be sitting and waiting on the Lord. One of the things we have to understand is that wait is an action word. So even as you wait, you should be doing something, right? I mean, even the Bible says that faith without works is dead. And so when we believe these things, when we know this and we understand this, how is it that we can say we just waiting? Like, what are you waiting for? You are waiting for you. There is nobody else. One of the harsh realities that I had to come to in all of this over the years of transition was that, girl, ain't nobody coming to save you. Like, so what are you doing? Nobody's coming to save you, right? Like, God, he will, right? But he's the savior. He actually already did. Yeah. And his job is savior. So you're looking to somebody else as the savior. They are servants. They are not saviors. And so I can provide you with some tools and some things to serve you, but I can't save you. It's still up to you to do the work. And that was one of the bigger things. Like, I wasn't doing the work. Like, let's just call a spade a spade. Everything was laid out. But again, as you say, like, being in that place of comparison, being in that place of, because especially comparison, when you say, hey, because you got the audacity to be here doing this and offering that, when you don't even qualify. One of the things when I used to coach back then, when we were coaching, was I used to, hey, because a scammer is very confident in they scam, right? The difference between us and them is they confidently and consistently show up for what it is that they believe, right? Even if it's a scam. Yeah. Because we have integrity and all of these things, then we sit back and again, we compare ourselves and we drag our feet. But the reality is, like, hey, people are doing more with less. And when I say less, I'm talking about less God, less anointing, less everything, right? Less training, less education. So when we talk about that, right? Because I think a lot of and we'll get into it, I guess, when we get into this part. But a lot of people spend a lot of time. I need to take another course. I need to do another this. I need to do another that. I need another coach. I need another business plan. I need another idea. I need another logo. I need all of these things that we think that we need before we continue and before we move on. So I know in your experience as a coach and as a consultant and working with entrepreneurs, you've seen the same thing. So what can you say, or what would you say to that?
And I think when people are saying they need something else, because there might be an actual need for more information on a different topic. Some of y'all have been in the same course about the same thing for 10 years. You ain't learned it yet? Like, what's up? And so you need to always be elevating your learning. You don't need to stay at surface level, because some people join programs and all those things because it was expensive. I paid this much. And so you feel in some type of way, but you still ain't did the work. And you could have did that with the $30 course, actually. But it just makes you feel good to say that you are investing in yourself. But investing in yourself does not just mean that you're paying for these products, these services, all that stuff. It means that whatever you're getting, you are doing something with it. And that's where I think the hang up has been. It's okay to be getting new information, new wisdom and knowledge, especially if you're in a season of transition, because maybe what you used to do, you had the information for that. And so now God is transitioning you. So you do need the coaching, the strategy, and all of those things, but you cannot keep learning at the same level. You don't stay in kindergarten forever. Like, that's just not, no. You 18 years old and you sitting in a group with 5-year-olds. You know more. That's the other part. We don't give ourselves enough credit for how much we actually do already know, right? And a lot of times, especially when we're transitioning, we think, oh, well, I'm new to this. I really don't know, and all that stuff. You might be new to the environment. You might be new to whatever God is calling you to do. You might be new to that, but this is not new to his plan for your life. This is not something that he just, well, I think, okay, well, let's go this way. That's not how God is orchestrating things. You might be new to the thing, but you're not a novice. And like, there are previous experiences and previous connections that are going to help guide you forward, but you got to be willing to lean on that stuff. And I just, because a lot of times we don't move because we feel like, oh, I'm starting all over from the beginning. Right. And I just got to start all over. And who keeps telling you to start over? Right. And who keeps saying, oh, well, you got to learn all of this over from the top? That's not how that works. When you go from 7th grade to 8th grade, just because you went to a new grade don't mean you had to go all the way back to kindergarten and learn it all the way back up. That's not how that works. You take the information from your previous season and you build upon it. You don't have to keep starting over. And the enemy has been calling us to feel like, oh, we're starting over from ground level. No, you're not. Actually, you already on the 10th floor. Like, you actually already there. But if you don't see it that, if you don't perceive it that way, it will feel like you're starting over and over and over. And that's why God can transition me and Jade to different businesses, and we don't feel like we're starting over, because it's like, okay, just take my prior knowledge and move it to another avenue. But if you feel like every time God transition you, oh God, and that's why you dragging your feet. That's why you sitting there. That's why you like, I don't know what to do. Who are you? Not fooling nobody. Yes, you do. You actually do. And if you don't know exactly what to do, you know who to go to get the information from. Yeah. He's not leaving you without the resources to help level you up.
So good. That is so good. Listen. Woo! Listen. I see we got a little somebody catching their breath in the comment. Yeah, because what she said is exactly what it is, right? Like, you come in, you have prior learning experience, you have the competitive advantage, right? When we talk about our unique selling proposition, you already have your unique selling proposition. You have all the things, you just won't make a move. Yeah. Like, you've gotten every single thing that you need, but you're at the place of execution and you just won't execute. And I believe, just as you said, that's a trick and a trap. That's what the enemy does, right? So let me get you in this perpetual state of thinking that you don't have enough. It is truly an attack on your identity, because you begin to question yourself. You begin to think about, well, do I really have enough? Do I really, but I need to go back to school. But again, as Danielle said, somebody who isn't also an educator, when she has students, if she teaching high school, guess what? She didn't send them back to elementary school and say, hey, we'll go all the way back to elementary before you can come here. And a lot of times that's what summer school is for, so that you're not held back, right?
Yeah.
A lot of us we done been to summer school, we done been to boot camp, we done did all of these.
You done did everything.
We done did everything, but we still won't make the move when you have every single piece, every element, every single thing that you need, you already have it. The execution piece is, again, just because I think a lot of times we deal with like it's self-sabotage. It's the what if it don't work, right? But what if it do work? Like what's worse than a no but a no? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's worse than a no except for a no? Because the reality is we can deal. And we see y'all questions. If y'all have questions, drop them in the comments, and we will make sure we answer those questions. So we get to that place where it is, well, I just really wish, you know what I mean? Like, I wish I could do it, but the reality is just do it. Like, what's worse than a no but a no? Okay, so one no, but again, when we go back to things that we talked about before, it is because we deal with with rejection and abandonment. And just because you didn't grow up being rejected does not mean that rejection is not something that you don't have to deal with. Like, it's not a real reality. I always tell my story about I'm a person who grew up being praised about every single thing. Maybe the entrepreneur world is very different. You can put something out today, but if you're not consistent, and I think that's a thing though, because even growing up being praised about everything, I was consistently doing good, right? I showed myself approved. I showed that I could be trusted, that I could go to school, get my work done, or do whatever that was. In this entrepreneurial space, we have what we call know, like, trust, right? It's everybody talks about it. They have to know you, they have to like you, and then you build trust, and then they will pay you. We don't spend enough time doing that, right? So we'll post one time and then we leave. Well, they ain't say nothing. Well, I showed up Monday, and it's 3 Mondays now later, and you haven't shown up again. They've not heard from you ever since then. I think the reality when we put this together, one of the things that I said was, girl, you see these people, like, so hold on. And I was shocked because I'm like, but even though we've not been live, we've not taught, we've not done these things, we've consistently been in front of an audience, or our audience, right? And so I think just a lot of times we can call it like, and sometimes when we talk about that whole education or adding more experience and all of that, we can call it wisdom. Like, oh, well, because I've dealt with a lot of people that'll say like, oh, well, I'm just waiting on, what the Lord revealed to me. I needed to go take another class. I need to get another training. I needed to do this, and that. And so when you're dealing with those type of, because like, I never speak against what somebody say God told them to do, because if he told you to do that. However, when you look at potential, or when you look at the thing that is presented, right? When you're dealing with people and you're like, hey, well, this is the thing, even for yourself, right? And there is that piece where it's like wisdom. There's a difference between wisdom and avoidance. Again, avoidance goes more to that self-sabotage because eventually it'll just go away. I'm scared for it to work out because it's going to demand another part of me. I think that's the reality of it. Yeah. You and I talked about that, like, well, so what if it do work out, right? We got to be in, ooh, okay, my schedule got to be like this. I got to be able to do this. I got to be able to do that. When the reality is, if we truly believe that God gives us these gifts and these talents, and he knows and he understands, and what he ain't going to put more on you than you can bear, and all of those different things that we like to say, do we understand that stewardship, the principle of stewardship? Because stewardship says, the Bible even tells us, if you are faithful over the little, right? So first you got to deal with the little and be faithful with that. We don't even want to show up for the little. Like, we haven't even made it to the little to show ourselves faithful to even be overwhelmed with the much.
Exactly.
Right. So for you, and just even in your experience, if it's not you specifically, like, I guess if you just want to speak to that part, or, whatever you want to flow into.
I will say, for the people that are waiting, or like, oh, I need this degree and I need this stuff. Okay, if God told you that, but he didn't tell you to stop doing the thing while you're still pursuing the other thing, right? Like, God told me to go back and get a doctorate that I did not want to get, but here we are. But I didn't wait until I'm Dr. Danielle Bertrand to start talking about burnout prevention. I'm doing that in my now. I'm not holding myself back and like, oh, they're not going to listen to me until I got these letters in front of my name. That is a lie. The anointing is still real even before the degree is conferred, right? Even before the dissertation is done, the burden is still real. And so if you feel like, oh, I've been waiting, I gotta, wait to enroll in this class, but what can you be doing in your now? Yes, that might help solidify it and open doors and all those things, but there's still a people assigned to you in your now that you need to be showing up for. And when we say showing up, not spreading yourself so thin, it needs to be in a way that you have the capacity for it. And a lot of people are like, well, I don't have time to start something new. The reality is you do have time. You just been holding on to the old thing too long. God told you to release that a year ago and you still doing it. The same old thing. You still serving in a way that God's like, hello, we're done with that. And now when he tell you something new, you feel overwhelmed. Well, that's your fault. He's not overwhelming you. You are overwhelming you because you won't get the other stuff off your plate.
So good.
And pride tells you, well, ain't nobody gonna do it better than me, so I'm gonna have to keep doing it. The devil, who do you think you are? And if you feel like there's nobody at that level, train them. And I think that's what happens so much in so many spaces. We're not willing to train somebody to take over for us because we like to feel needed. We like to say we got an S on our chest. We walking around with a cape. We like that. But that's pride because now somebody else is not getting training from a well-equipped person, you, so that now that they can take over that. But if you just feel like, oh, I got to do it and nobody else can do it and all this foolishness that the devil is feeding you, and you think, well, God, I'm one of God's strongest soldiers. Okay. Well, actually, God might be calling you to train some other soldiers and you won't do it. Because you like being the general. You like being, you like the accolades that come with it. And God's like, actually, I want to move you to something completely different, but I can't because you so stuck in it and you haven't trained anybody to take your place. Why are we training people to take our place? You should want somebody to know as much as you know, so you can leave eventually. We just get so tied to stuff. I got to do it like this. And God did not tell you that. Because if it was just you, there would not be a body. It would just be you. The body. There's arms, legs, feet. All of that is needed. But you, in your mind, you are the body. You the whole thing. And so, Jay, when we talk about people feeling like they got to be everything for everybody, how can they, and I think this might speak to Kanye's question, if somebody has a lack of self-confidence can also show up in, I got to be everything for everybody, otherwise they won't want me around. Like, that's a lack of self-confidence too. I got to show up and I got to be there because otherwise I'm going to be rejected. What do you say to those people, and even to this question of executing?
Child. So what if a person has a lack of self-confidence? Would that be one of the reasons for not executing? I think the lack of self-confidence is definitely a reason why people don't execute or why we don't move forward in things, right? And I had a lot of clients over the years, especially in the tax space, working with tax professionals. And one of the biggest things that we would always get to was like, oh, hey, you gave me my confidence. I didn't give you confidence. Your confidence is something that's already inside of you and it has to be activated. So I think a lot of times, one of the things that I say, again, answering the question, yes, of course, it has a lot to do with not executing, because a lack of self-confidence leads to self-sabotage. It leads to constant delay. It leads to, there are all sorts of things. And I think when we talk about self-confidence though, what is it? What is the measurable? Like, what are we measuring that by? Like, what is the thing that we're measuring ourselves by that is causing us to not be confident in ourselves, right? So like success, if the thing is success, right? What is it that you're measuring success by that is causing you to not have confidence in yourself?
Yeah.
Right. So if it's, hey, because I don't have X amount of dollars, or because I don't this, that, or the other, or if it's just because of, again, the word that we already talked about, comparison. A lot of times comparison is why we are not confident, because they do things this way. Let me just be honest with y'all. When I started functioning and when I started building my own relationship with God, I was confident, but I was stuck in comparison. Grew up in the Baptist church and all of these things, right? Very traditional. And so when I heard the deacons praying and I heard this person do this and that, well, I don't speak like them. I don't pray like that. I don't have a him and a and a ha and a and I don't got to catch my breath and I ain't breathing. I'm not doing any of that. So does that mean my question was, comparison had me saying, oh, well, I can't pray. I can't do that, right? I cannot do that because I don't sound like them. And this is how I've been trained. This is what I'm measuring it by. So again, what's the measurable? What are you measuring, whatever it is that you should be executing? What makes you not execute? Because you're looking at what somebody else is doing, because you're looking at what they're not doing, right? Well, because sometimes it's what they ain't doing. Well, they ain't doing that, so I'm not going to do that. A few years ago, I did this session where I was talking about being the blueprint. The reality is we have to do the thing, right? Those of us who are called to blaze trails, builders, us who are blueprints, you got to do the thing, right? You have to go first. So I think the lack of self-confidence and a lot of that as it relates to execution is really comparison. And to deal with that, we have to look at what are we measuring the completion by? What are we looking at? So even for me and some things in business, I would be measuring it by some of the things that I saw, what I saw to be the blueprint, right? It could have been a previous coach or somebody else who's doing something very similar. And I was stuck in that, which was causing me to not execute. It wasn't because I wasn't confident in myself, so to speak. It was just because, well, it don't look like what they are doing. I don't have the budget that they have. Start where you at. Again, what is the measurement? What are you measuring it by? Because those things cause unnecessary pressure. Again, it gets back to that place of self-sabotage. You end up in that space. Somebody in the comments said delayed obedience is still disobedience. When you think about those things, because like we say that stuff, but do we really truly move when we know that? A lot of times we don't. So I think, just to that point of execution, those are, that confidence piece is something that you have to truly, and I'm gonna say this because they see us here, we live, we show up. Being nervous about something does not mean that you're not confident. Right? It still doesn't mean that you don't have what it takes. Like, y'all don't know what we do behind the scenes to get prepared to come forward. It's a whole lot of, is we pushing this button? Are we doing this? Or we do, so a lot of times we misdiagnose ourselves too. We get so stuck in whatever the diagnosis is, right? Well, it's this, or it's that, or it's depression, or it's this or that. Now, some people deal with those things. However, we can get so caught up in what culture says it is that we don't move. You know what I mean? So I think, to that point of about, the lack of self-confidence, it's absolutely a reason or a move for it. It's something that keeps you not moving and not executing. But then the question becomes, what do you do about that?
Yeah. And I think for confidence and a whole bunch of stuff, who are you? I think it becomes an identity issue. Exactly. Because when you understand who you are, then the other stuff don't matter. I would say for me, even the last couple of months, I knew I was like, I'm the preventative burnout specialist. I was saying it, but in saying it and not really walking in the fullness of it, that caused me to say, when I would see other people doing something similar to burnout or whatever the case is, it's like, oh, are they competition for me? Because I wasn't settled in my identity of what God wanted me to do. And when you're not settled in your identity, you push away partnerships and collaborations. So you don't execute because a lot of it is bigger than you anyway, and you can't do it all by yourself. But if you don't have the identity grounded in who God called you to be, you're going to see everybody as a threat versus an opportunity, right? And so your mindset has to shift to, oh, wait, no, we all in this same industry. We do it all a little bit differently, and we're going to attract different people. But now we have access to more than what we would have had on our own. Just this week, I've had 3-4 conversations with people in the wellness space, and none of them are my competition, but in ways to do work together, right? And I don't have to feel like, oh, well, they're going to take my people. The people ain't mine to be taken, first of all. And now the network is growing, so there's more access. The thing is, everybody get to eat, okay? Because you don't think that everybody gonna eat, or you think, oh, well, I'm only gonna get a little piece if I invite such and such in. That is poverty showing up in your business, showing up in what God called you to do. And that's why you're not moving forward. Some of you literally have the whole thing in your phone right now, but you're scared to move forward because you're like, well, if I do that, and what if I'm not prepared? Somebody else gonna just take it up and I'm not gonna have nothing. And God is probably telling you, hey, I need you to partner, and you're scared to partner.
That's
Some of y'all
right.
didn't like group work growing up. You like, I
That's
can't
right.
stand a group project because this, and me on the other hand, baby, teamwork makes the dream work. What's up? Like, put me on the team. Let me show up and where I don't have to do all the work, but I can still bring my expertise to the work. And I think you shift your mindset of, hey, I'm not doing it all by myself. I know who I am. I'm not putting my whole identity into this, and I can still move around, but I'm not fearful of partnership. I'm not fearful of collaborations. Because if we were, me and Jay wouldn't be on here right now together. She would have had her live, and then I would have, it would have been a very much separation. But because we know what, like that's not even what we got going on. We can do this. And for so long, people have been talking about partnerships and collaborations and all that stuff, but most people haven't walked in them because they haven't been mutually beneficial.
Correct.
Right? And the second thing is people haven't been strong enough in their identity for it to, and if somebody always feels attacked, like, oh, well, maybe I'm not good enough, or they gonna get this, and it's like, let's mature. You have to be at a mature state to do the work that God is calling you to do. So some of it is your maturity level. It's not all the stuff, but there's some maturing that you have to do so that you put it in action fully.
Yeah. And one of the things, another thing I'll say about that confidence piece and execution is confidence comes as you do the thing, right? So like we are here. We can confidently come and do a live because we've done live years ago. Like we've done these things over and over again. I think it also goes back to the point of you saying, hey, like you have prior learning experience. It comes by way of doing the thing. So the enemy will trick you, or you trick yourself into thinking that, well, if I just don't move and do nothing, then I'm going to become more confident. You'll become less and less confident over time. And it'll just continue being a delayed thing. So the reality is confidence comes by way of doing. Again, I said when I was working with tax professionals and coaching them, I don't give confidence. I help you activate it, and you activate it. One of the things, if any of them are in here, can tell you, I made them go forward facing, do the work, show up, open your mouth, speak, let people know that you have the knowledge that you have. A lot of y'all are sitting on gifts, talents, and all of the things. So will you be like the parable of the talents, where when God came back and where's the multiplication? Like, I think just to go where I go to my end for a minute, on the financial side and on that side, multiplication is a principle. It's not, when we talk about profitability, it's not something where it's just, oh, you all about money, you all about this, because you can be profitable not just in money.
Yeah.
We oftentimes look at profitability and those things and just always make it about money. You can be profitable by when you go out and make other disciples. That's profitability. You are producing something. When the Bible talks about being fruitful and multiplying, it ain't just talking about going and having children, but that's what culture and society has us thinking, that, oh, well, you just go out and lay down and have children. That is not that's not the fullness of the word. So the reality is, when we say that we are kingdom entrepreneurs and we are Christians and we are this, that, and the other, do we live up even to understand, or do we operate according to the principle just as a business owner?
Yeah.
Just as people who have ideas and all of those things, we have this treasure in earthen vessels. Do we truly operate in that sense though, right? We'll quote these scriptures and we'll say the word. And I think I can speak for Danielle and myself. We build according to kingdom principles. And so that makes it a lot. I don't care who is against me, because I know that God is for me. Yeah. So I can show up on here, and if only one person shows up, guess what? I did what it was that I know that God said for me to do. So when we look at confidence and executing, we have to look at the fact that a lot of times we are just being disobedient. We are not doing what was said to be done. We are not operating according to the principles. So who will you serve?
Yeah.
That then becomes the question. Who is it that you're going to serve at that point? Because if you ain't doing what he said do, and you're letting the enemy continue to get in your head, and I'm not going to execute today, I try again tomorrow, and I try again next week, and I try again next year, and then you look up and years have passed you by. Oh, but God can redeem the time. He ain't redeeming no time that you ain't do nothing with when you had the opportunity to do it. Yes, there is grace. Yes, all of those things are true, but we can't walk around with the sense of entitlement that just because he's God, he's got to do it because, hey, I'm a child of God. And if you believe that, then move.
Yeah.
Because you cannot continue to not execute on the things. Because
Exactly.
when what you giving me when I come back? Or would you prefer that he takes what he gave you and give it to somebody else, or what was stored up for you? Then, well, God is mean, and but it is the principle.
It's always the principle.
It's always the principle.
You got excuses or execution. Choose.
You
This
excuse
day.
pay or execution. That's what y'all need to put in the comments. I choose whether you choose. Do I choose excuses over execution, or I choose to execute over making excuses?
Yeah, which one? Because at this day, like today is Freedom Friday. Like we've been talking about this for us, but it's for you too. Like that's why you're here. You might have to rearrange your schedule. You might be driving and listening. You might be on your lunch break. It doesn't matter. But excuses or execution, which one? Like he's putting that before you, because we know that our audience and the people that we're connected to, they have at one point probably done amazing things, and you've probably slipped into like the abyss of, oh, well, I don't know if I'm ready yet, and all of the things that God has given you, and you almost have forgotten your past successes. Not that you should live in those, but they should be a testament. Well, if God did it then, and I knew less then than I know now, surely he can do something with me now, even if it's a new thing.
Yeah.
Even if it's a new thing, and we have to be okay with it being a new thing. It doesn't have to look like what it used to, but you still have the wisdom, you still have the information, you still have the connections. All of those things are still intact, even if it's a new thing. And so many people are going through transition in this time, whether it's because of a loss of a job, or as you move to a new state, or whatever the transition is. God might be calling you to do a new thing, and you're allowing a new thing to make you shake in your boots. But the reality is execution or excuses. Mm-hmm. You have to choose. We can't make that decision. We decided to execute because we could have made an excuse today. Girl, it's the holiday. We just gonna rest. We ain't gonna worry about showing up. Like we always have the option. Yes. But your answer has to consistently be execution. Even if that execution means, hey, today I'm taking a day off, but you need to execute that instead of, oh, well, such and such called me, so I'm gonna just do this real quick. That's an excuse, right? Like now you've gone back on your word to what you told yourself. So again, you execute. I see one person that said execute. I don't know what the rest of y'all doing.
Hey, execute y'all in here.
You trying to decide, and that's fine. Make a decision, but be very clear with you and with God.
Yeah.
Because he knows, y'all be saying, God know my heart, and he do. He does. That's not, like, I don't think you think that's not the flex you think it is. He know you ain't about to do what you said you was going to do. Right? Like, that's not, I think we got that too. We say that so people won't judge us. Well, God know my heart. And he does. And depending on who you telling it to, he's giving them the ability to know your heart too. Reveal it. So what were we doing, right? Ooh, so we have to be. Okay, I see my executors coming through. Okay, because I know, and that's okay if you're thinking about it. But execution has a level of responsibility with it.
Absolutely.
Me and Jay didn't just get on here today. We've had multiple meetings before this moment happened, right? Like this wasn't just like a show up. Like that's not what happened. And so because it's not what happened, there was responsibility. There were things leading up to it. And so you have to, again, clear your plate of the things that he doesn't want on there anymore. So you have the capacity to do it. Some of you just feel like, oh, I can't do it because I got so much else going on. Some of that stuff ain't supposed to be going on, actually. So you can make an excuse about why you keep letting it go on. Or you can remove it and execute on what he's telling you to do right now in this moment, because people are assigned to what he's getting. And the other part, God is trusting you with that. How amazing is it to be trusted by God? We always say we trust God, but how amazing is it for God to trust us? God, the creator of it all, trusting you with something, no matter how big or small you think it is, he's choosing to trust you. It's a choice he made to trust you. Instead of saying, oh, they ain't ready yet. Like, but he gave it to you even in the midst of the stuff you got going on. He said, I'm still going to give you the opportunity to show up.
That's right.
He didn't write you off. He knew what he had. He knows what he put inside of you. Now, what you do with it, that's on you. But he already knows what he put inside of you.
That's so good. He's trusting, like he chose. It was a choice that he made. So it was nothing that you could do, because again, performance tells us well, I got to do this. I have to do that. I have to show up this way. I got to, like I said, hey, wanting to present as the finished work, right? Because I have to be finished. I have to be complete. This has got to be this before God will allow me to do something else, right? And so realizing that, hey, but he made a choice. It wasn't even up to you. He chose you. And dealing with that performance thing, dealing with that performative, stuff, continuing to try to show ourselves as this or as that, because I need to be in God's face, right? Like I have to act a certain type of way, or I have to, again, because even if we just take, let's just say, okay, we all know that we believe it's here. If you're not, then we gonna
send us a DM.
Send us a DM. But for those of us who are here, we are believers. We got that part out of the way, right? But then performance says on the other side, performance makes you seek validation, right? So you have to be validated by the people. Well, I have to do this, and I got to get 30,000 likes, and I got to get 40,000 comments, and I have to do this long list of stuff that is not even necessary before you press forward. So what you said is so good, remembering that God chose me. And I think even when we go to just shifting back over to the other side, even when we like the reality of that though, right? Like Jesus he made a choice for you. You just got to choose him back. And so because, and we talk about how we believe that we are called to, make massive impact, and we are called to the nations, and we're going to break generational curses. And we say all of these cute, culturally cute things and these appropriate things, right? They sound real good. But our movement does not reflect people who we understand that we are called to create massive impact. If you know that you're called to create massive impact, why would you continue to tell somebody, hey, well, the Lord called me to do this, but you're sitting on the sideline? If you know that you are changing the trajectory of generations, if you know that you are breaking generational curses, why do you continue to stay on the sideline? If you know that the idea that you have is going to not just shift your neighborhood, but it's going to shift your entire nation, it's going to shift the economy, why are you still sitting on it? What is it actually going to take for you to execute? It's going to take this drastic thing, because I can speak for myself, like in a lot of areas, it took this drastic thing for me to be like, all right, God, I'm locked in. I'm locked in, and ain't no switching up, right? I'm going to do what you said, when you said it, how you said it. And if you don't say it, baby, I'm not going to do nothing. Me and Danielle talk about these types of things all the time. Well, if God say it's a no, and hey, that flyer will come down, and that'll just be the end of it, right? But the reality is we got to make a move, right? But Danielle, and that's true. To whom much is given, much is required. But Khadijah, we say that, right? Again, we say these things, but we move completely contrary to that, right? Because we think too much being required means that we on the struggle bus, right? That we have to struggle, that it is, we're fighting for survival. We in survival mode, because to whom much is given, much is required. So again, as Danielle said, keeping that cape on and I got to show up like this. And the reality is, bro, that is not what it means. But I ain't going to go into all of that. But when we look at, execution, right, Danielle, one of the things that you and I did was we sat down and figured, like, hey, let's get on a call. Let's figure this out together. Like, what are we doing? Do you think that there are, or I guess you can just tell me one way or the other, as it relates to execution, a lot of, or for some people, it's just that they have so many ideas, they have so many things, but they don't have clarity on what to do and where to move?
Yes, exactly. That it just feels like it almost feels overwhelming, or like I said, maybe it's a new thing, but you're not new. Like you weren't born yesterday. Like you have, and a lot of times people struggle with doing the new thing because it's like, well, last time I did this, I got hurt, but baby, you got a new level of discernment this time. So the things that are keeping you back, the fear, it's like, but you're not even that same person. So allowing yourself to grow and mature and sitting in that level of maturity. So yes, they don't know that they can do it. They have so much. And sometimes they just need to sit and talk about it and just let somebody be a listening ear. But some of y'all talking to the wrong people. That's the problem. Y'all talking to people about what God has told you to do, but it's the wrong people. It's the people that don't think they can do anything. And so, they're going to tell you, I don't know about that. Maybe you should give that a year. Maybe after this, like they're talking you out of it because that's how they talk to themselves. And so I think for a lot of people, it's you're just talking to the wrong people, not that you really are lacking in the thing. You just like, well, who can I talk to this that is a trusted voice, that is gonna hear from Holy Spirit, like, and that doesn't know too much about me personally, to kind of give a, like, they giving a spin on it because they've been watching my social media, so they just telling me based on what they see.
That's right.
You need a objective eye on what God is calling you to do, or how you should be moving, so that you can have strategic steps set in place. But a lot of times people don't know where to go for something like that. And sometimes I've seen people do a lot of they'll go to coaches and all that stuff, and they book let me pick your brain sessions, which is fine. But now you pressure, like, oh, I gotta come up with my top 5 questions because I only got this amount of time, and you still stressed because you're like, oh, I asked the right question, and again, that's stopping you from even booking the call. So it causes anxiety because you're like, oh, okay, I don't know what to ask. Because if you knew what to ask, you probably could go Google it and find out that, like, there's something you probably could have done anyway. Not to say those calls aren't great, but they are really, really helpful if you're at a certain level of execution and you are really deep in it. It might just need, hey, I got 3 questions to ask. Once these 3, I'm good. But everybody's not there, especially if it's something new, especially if it's something that I just don't feel like I have the level of experience in. But you just need an unbiased voice that hear from God, but they can see objectively, do you have the capacity for this? Do you have the competency for this? Is it sustainable for you? Do you know what visibility looks like for this? Like, what does that look like? And I think a lot of people just need a space to do that. And I think that's what's been missing, and where people can sometimes not be, they don't really want to have an excuse, but they don't really know what execution looks like for them.
Yeah, that's so good. And I want to, somebody in the comments said prayer and fasting works. And yes, prayer and fasting also works. But one of the things I will say, sometimes we over spiritualize stuff. Sometimes we'll spend so much time praying and fasting, and God has given us already the yes. He's already given us the thing. But again, it only happens through partnership. A lot of times God, he'll give you the go ahead, right? But when we talk about clarity and understanding and being able to actually know what is needed to move forward, and having that unbiased voice and experts who can help you execute, then prayer, and then now we beyond prayer and fasting, right? Because a lot of times, and I've seen a lot of people, we spend a lot of time in prayer and fasting, but then we still don't do nothing. Right. So you prayed, you fasted, the Lord gave you specifics, but then you still ain't do nothing with it. Right. And so just that, I just wanted to speak to that about, prayer and fasting working, because we can do that. We can already have that piece, but you still need trusted experts. You still need trusted voice who don't know nothing about none you got going on for real. Might have seen you on social media, might have not, might have saw you down the street, might not, you know what I'm saying? Like, people who are not in the midst of what it is that you have going on. Sometimes that's community. Sometimes you just need to be around the right people. So as Danielle said, you're talking to people, or you're in community with people who just, they ain't got no confidence either, right? Like, they don't believe in what it is that they want to do. So they don't believe in what it is that you're saying that you want to do. So the reality is that is one part of it. Sometimes you just need a community to be a part of. You need a community of, and I know, like, everybody say they got community and, with like-minded individuals and all of this stuff. And a lot of times that don't be the case. But what I mean is a trusted community where even what it is that you are doing does not go outside of that. What it is that you are thinking about, your thoughts, your plans, it doesn't, you don't wake up tomorrow and somebody else from the same community is doing it. So I just wanted to speak to that point, because we can get so caught up, like we can over spiritualize it, because there's a place where prayer and fasting is, but then there's also that place of execution, because God can give me every single thing that I need and I still won't execute because I don't have somebody who's giving me clarity on where to start first. What to do? What's the first piece? What's the second piece? What do I need to do now? Who do I need to connect with? Again, to the point of what you were saying in the beginning about the body. If we did not need people, then we wouldn't be here, right? Like, God would not have created other people. And I think that's why the enemy will sometimes have us feel like, oh, well, I don't like people. Yeah, of course, because if you don't talk to them, you don't get the other part of what you need, or you don't get the fullness of what you need,
And
So
God gives it in part. So God may have given you a part of it, but there's somebody else that has the other piece of your puzzle. And you will never know if you're just like, oh no, I can't talk to nobody. Fear will tell you, oh, well, what if they take my idea? And and all of these things. Well, baby, they ain't trying to do it. They want to help you do it, but that's not their heart. That ain't what God called them to do. And I think that's the other thing, knowing who you're talking to and knowing that they ain't looking for their next new thing. They just want their next thing is to help you with your thing. That's the only thing that got going on. They ain't like, oh, well, let me have this conversation and see what they talk. But people do that. But that's why discernment is important. Because there are people that will set themselves up in a place to say, oh, I'm just, I'm helpful and all this stuff. But their real intent is to get what God gave you and go put a little twist on it, well, copy and paste. And because they're executors, they'll have it out before you have it out. Yes, knowing those that labor.
So good.
Because, baby, hey, there's some people you do need to be side-eyed. Like, I don't think I need to have that conversation. But that's not everybody. And so understanding who those people are. And again, the know, like, and trust, like what's the level of trust do I have with this person? Is there somebody that can vouch for them? Is there somebody? That's why testimonials is always so important. We know we are on Amazon, baby. We scroll all the way to the bottom. Who said this word? How many times did they take it back? Like we look for testimonials, especially if we don't have a relationship with that person or whatever. We never use that brand. We want to see what other people have to say about it. And so we understand that all of that matters. And so again, when some people just need somebody to figure it out with, and that's okay. Like it's okay to figure stuff out in a space that is safe and a space that, hey, because I see my executors and you might be at the place today where you're saying, God, I really don't want to make no more excuses. I know you trusted me with this. I see you've chose me. I heard everything that was said today. And I know all of this, but there is something between my movement and, where I'm at, the movement, but there's something right here that I gotta have some type of clarity conversation, whatever that looks like. So I'll know my
So good. I'm just looking at the comments. So we got some people in here saying they're talking about discernment. So no copycats. Even if they take it, they didn't have your anointing. And that is true. Again, when we talk about community and being around trusted people, like stuff that we talk about, stuff that like we even have friends outside of our friend, just our friend circle. And none of the stuff, even over the years that I've ever talked to any of my friends about has ever been, they ain't went and tried to do it because, hey, I have the experience, I have the expertise, or I can do this and I can do that. We're just very integral people. And that's what you need. You need to connect with people who have integrity. And again, who have an objective view. Like I don't feel one way or other about what it is that you have going on. Being around healed and whole people who can walk in the totality of who they are and not try to take anything from you. So this is good. If y'all have any questions as you're on here, again, make sure we did answer a couple of questions, but since we are getting ready to wind this down, if you have any last minute questions, make sure y'all throw them in the comments and then we can answer them quickly as possible. Danielle, is there anything else that you want to share? I think we have, when I look at our plan for today, I feel like we have definitely did what it is that we said we were coming here to do. Grateful for all of y'all who showed up. And even those of y'all who, I just got to go back to this real quick. Those of you who said that you were going to execute, some of y'all are already executors behind the scenes. For some of you, God is calling you outwardly. And so you have to make a decision to no longer hide, right? Some of y'all, God is calling you to actually do it because you've been behind the scenes. But for some of you, God is actually calling you out to the front. So make a decision on what you're going to do. I know you said you're going to execute, but like you already executing in the space that you're executing in, but make sure that you decide if he's saying come out of the cave, because that's what we're doing here today. And we believe in leading from the front. So we're showing up authentically, sharing, hey, this is what we had going on, this is where I've been, this, that, and and all of the things. So I just want to say that because I know y'all said y'all gonna execute, and some of y'all I know personally, and you already executing behind the scenes, and it's time to come out. It's time to stop hiding. Come out wherever you are.
I see the Thrive House
in a building. Hey, Destiny.
Thrive House shit. Hey, this is your time. Go for it. But with that, with figuring it out, me and Jay had to figure this out together, right? Like this was a conversation about permission that we were having because we were like, girl, why we just sitting here? Why we ain't did it yet? Like what's the thing? And so that conversation came out, and then it was saying, will y'all be doing this again? All right, y'all, look, not the push. So that was part of the conversation too. Like it's just gonna be a one, like our apostle say, y'all about to be a one hit and a wonder. Like, what is going on? So we do not plan on being a one hit and a wonder. Because if we do that, then we false starts, right? Because some of us have done that too. Like, oh well, it's coming out. What does that look like? So no, we will not be a one hit and a wonder. But we don't even want you to have to wait until we're again in this platform. Because if you are in a space where you're saying, okay, I heard all y'all what y'all said, but I need to go talk to. I need a conversation. I don't already have the questions to ask somebody. I need to be in a space where I can share what God has given me, in a place where clarity can come and things can be organized. I can give recommendations on what I need to do next and who I may need to connect with, because a lot of times we have, again, God gives in part. So maybe we have the start of a thing, but we don't know the next strategic move. We might can move, but we want to move strategically. We don't know that. And so me and Jay were like, okay, so after we have this conversation and then people identify, hey, well, yeah, that's what I'm missing. I'm missing the conversation. I'm missing people seeing me objectively. What's next? And we have been mentored well that we don't just get to come in here and talk to y'all and just leave. Okay. That's what we wanted to do. That was the goal. We were going to come on here, have a live conversation and tell y'all until next time, whenever that's going to be. That was the plan.
It was. Just in all honesty. Hey, it was the plan.
We ain't have nothing for nobody. It was like, okay, well, we gonna talk. We Freedom Friday, and we'll see you maybe in October. Who knows? But because we had the opportunity to sit and talk it out, that's why we decided, okay, now what, right? Because we do get to serve in a community, but there's also things that we're doing outside of the community, right? And we get to be leaders and we get to show up in our expertise. And so we came up with, let's figure it out together. Like that's our next step. And that's the next step that we invite you to take with us if you're in that space, to let's figure it out together. And then so what we doing, just bring what you got. We not asking for it to be perfect. We don't want you to tweak it like, oh well, I gotta have this in you have to have this in place.
Baby, I gotta have 3 questions and I gotta already have a plan. You don't need none of that.
Don't even worry about it, because that's gonna stop you from moving. That's gonna stop the execution. Jay talked about the over planning. So it's called let's figure it out together. And it's simple. I help you identify capacity and competency, and Jay helps you assess viability and sustainability. Point blank, period. It's not a place where you come and we like, oh, already before we have a conversation, oh, this person need to do this, and this. Baby, we ain't got no plan for you.
We got to hear what you got to say, where you at, and all of that.
Ain't no plan made until after the conversation is had. Because what'll happen is sometimes people are like, oh, well, let's have this conversation, but they already got in their mind, well, yeah, but I'm going to tell them to do this, and we ain't got no. I'm telling you right now, it's called let's figure it out together for a reason. This is the place that we get to do it together. And especially for those that have been pushing away partnership or collaboration or anything like that, this is a good safe space to start dialogue, because some of y'all just been talking to yourselves. Y'all been talking to y'all just to yourselves for years, because you're like, well, I don't know what to do. And it's time to stop just talking to you and yourself and your journal and actually put it out there. So somebody with a different level of expertise can say, girl, go, hey, do this, and this, and you got it. Or, hey, let's think about this first before we move to the next level. And so again, let's figure it out together. We had a let's figure it out together session ourselves for this. Like, that's how serious it is. Sometimes God is giving you the ideas, but you don't have all the pieces. and God will send you people that he will give through their expertise and things for the pieces. So Jay just put it up on the screen. If you like, I need a let's figure it out session. I need to let's figure it out together. You just need to solve. And guess what? You get me and Jay. Because baby, we cut up on here, but hey, behind closed doors, you ain't gonna get a different version of us, but you're gonna get us. Now say what now? Hold on.
Yeah.
Not in a mean way, because let me say it like this.
Right.
But in a way that we know that God has given you something and we want it to go for it. Like, we're not gonna coddle you and say, "Oh, girl, you do got too much on your plate." Maybe 3 years ain't no. You will not get told that. You might get, hey, that thing that you've been doing. I know you love to do this, but you might need to start training somebody to take over for you. You're gonna get those type of directions and all of those things because again, what God has called, what He is trusting you with, that's the thing that needs to be done. We need you to. And so it's called Let's Figure It Out Together. And because we just kind of God instructed us and we're executing, we could have said, "Oh girl, we'll do that in January." Well, y'all would have been waiting another 6 months.
Yeah.
That's the reality of it is. We might get a conversation next week, but we would have put it off and said 6 months from now we'll be ready. Do it now. And so if you scan that, it's called Let's Figure It Out Together. We'll drop it in the comments as well, so you can click the link. But because we are starting, we want to honor people that don't hesitate, right? So there are 6 of these at the introductory of, hey, you get Jade and Danielle, and you don't just get us one time, you get a follow-up too. Baby, Danielle don't do follow-ups. Danielle tell you what to do and she gone. Hey, you gonna do it or you ain't? By nature. But I understand that people need a level of accountability. And that's why you get a full session and then you get a 2-week follow-up with the recommendations, a whole plan that's customized for you. This is not just, oh, I talk to them and okay, whatever. No. We take what God has trusted us with very seriously. Yes. So if we take that seriously, we're gonna do exactly what He told us to do. And again, we ain't coming with no preconceived notions about what we got to say. We just want to hear what you got to say. I hear what we want to assess some things so that it can be put together in a nice little package and you can say, oh, that's the part I was missing. I never thought about that. When I used to business coach, I would know it was God when people would say, I never even thought about that. And God was like, yeah, that was me. Because with you, sometimes you just need a different perspective. You got something?
I'll just add that these sessions, when you say, hey, they're getting this, and that, one of the things I want to be clear about, again, we're coming into this. We're not coming based on whatever is on your social media page. We are not coming with any of that. We're coming together and we are truly coming to give you not just a plan that you go and you got to go and try to figure out and find all the pieces. We're coming with recommendations. We're coming with referrals, whatever it is based on what it is that you are planning to do or wanting to do, whatever God has called you to do in this season. We are coming with exactly that. You're leaving with exactly that. There's no, my God, now I got to go find this. I got to go find it. If you need a website, baby, we're going to refer you to somebody. If you need marketing strategy, we're going to refer you to somebody. If you just need language for where you at, if you need pastoral account, whatever it is that you need when we talk, then we're gonna direct you to where it is that you need to go. So it's bigger than just a business strategy. It's bigger than just a quick plan, a get rich quick scheme, or any of that. If you know Danielle and I, and if you don't, you'll learn that we don't operate in just what we can do quickly, what we can do now just to get ahead, or what you can do at the very moment. We are very big, again, on sustainability. We are very big on, do you have the capacity to even do the thing? We are very big on, do you have the competency? Do you need to hire people? Do you need to do you need to take some stuff off of your plate? We are big on, is this a thing are you trying to just do this for now? Or is this something that, again, when you say you are called to, create massive impact and generational wealth and all of these things, we want to make sure that whatever it is that you put out, whatever the thing is, it's executed in the proper way. Again, when we talk about being faithful over the little, that's what we want to do. We want to make sure that you are faithful over the things that God has entrusted you with, and that you move, because we are in a peculiar time where you ain't got too much time to be dragging your feet. You need to decide which side of the fence you're going to be on. So that's what I'll say about those sessions. I'm excited for everyone who books a call. And like Danielle said, we don't have a whole lot of time. We want to honor the people who are executors, who are truly saying it is time for me to execute. I know I've been sitting on something, or I know I've gotten this piece. And a lot of y'all I done had conversations with just on the sidelines. And so you already know you need a session like 6 months ago. And so I encourage you to go ahead and book. There are only 6 sessions at the introductory rate. And then, and you can book your session now and you can have it later if you don't feel like you're ready, but there's not even ready to get. Bring yourself. If you got a notebook with 10,000 pages, just kind of condense them as much as you can, but bring the things that you know that God has instructed you to do in this season, so that we can help you figure it out, and we're figuring it out together. So it's the 3 of us. Okay. It's not just you and one voice. It is 2 voices who are operating on the other side of each other, but we complement each other. Right. And so, yeah, I think that's what I'll say to the sessions. Just don't drag your feet, because I promise you, 6 sessions go quick. And the people who know they need it, baby, they in it. Yes, yeah. Monique, if you got 10,000 pages, just try to condense them.
Let me go ahead and chat real quick and say, chat now, pick out my top themes, because hey, you might have it.
But even if it's things that you thought, because like even that, right? So we have these ideas, right? We got all these different ideas and all these different things. Even those things, just bring them, because there may be a space for them, or there may be another season for them. Again, we're talking about viability, sustainability, capacity, and competency. Will this thing thrive right now? Do you have the capacity for that to take place? So yeah, make sure that you y'all do what y'all got to do to get these sessions. We ain't really got a whole lot,
because we know what our capacity is, and so we've pulled to say, hey, all right, God, now if you want us to do this, what that, you know, when the sessions for next week, hey, that's when they are. So when you book, or after you purchase, and there are different payment options, so don't be like, oh, I don't know, just click the link. Stop doing all that. The link got dropped in the comments too. But after that, then you'll get access to the calendar to see what, and there are morning times, evening times. So don't worry about that. There will be a time where you can, you will definitely have access to it, but don't drag your feet. And that's what this is all about anyway. Excuses or execution, because excuses gonna say, well, maybe if they bring it around, around fall or something, I'll be ready. You'll actually be 3 months behind when you were supposed to be doing. Not, come on, y'all. Come on, booking sessions. Hey,
we love it. We love it. We honor it. We honor executors. Okay.
Baby. Okay. So I'm excited, but I ain't gonna say if you gotta go. Listen, you ain't gotta go nowhere. The thing is, you get to be around other, we execute. So the same level of execution that we bring, that naturally translates to the people that we're connected to. Me and Jade met because we were making a big investment in coaching. That's what we met at. We met as executors. We didn't meet as, oh, well, girl, I'm just trying to see what the Lord say. That's not how we met. That's right. We met showing up. We met, yes, Miss Karen. We met showing up. We met that I was still teaching in the classroom. We met, I was on the call on my lunch break. That's the level of meeting that we have, right? That's the type of insight that you get. You're not talking to some people that's like, oh, well, we don't know. No, God has called us to do big things, and he assigned us to people that he's called to do big things. Yeah. We are assigned to our Apostle Eve, because she's been called to do big things. It matters who you're connected to. Absolutely. Don't let these opportunities pass by and say, oh, well, one day, why not today? Because you're saying, well, it's gonna cost you more not to. Yeah. What is it gonna cost you to be in the same spot you're in June 19th if you're in the same spot December 19th? What did it cost you? You missed the contracts. You missed the stages. You missed the relationship. You missed all of those things because you didn't. And we talked about being ready. Show up. We're not asking.
One of the things when you say one day, right? One of the things I always remember is Apostle E saying, one day, one is not a day. So picture one is not a day. Today is Friday. We've never heard of one day. What day is that? Pick a day, right? Again, pick a side. And I'll just say this as we, as we're about to close out. The reality is, what you don't execute today, remembering that you are hindering the person or the people that you're called to. So I always think about the line leader, and Danielle has heard me talk about it a lot. Like, when you have a person that's leading the line, when the line leader get out of line, what happens? The line stops, right? And so there's not just delay for the line leader, there's delay for every single person that is in line. Unless you're in one of them lines where it's like pick a number and you pick your number, and then if they get out of line, then the line keeps moving. But you are the line leader. You are the one who has been uniquely assigned to get people out of through a transition or whatever that may be, even if you are in the midst of transition. Again, we think we have to be the finished work. Like, we got to have it all together before God can use us. We have to have it all together before we can do this, that, or the other. Now, sometimes you do need to have some proven some proven things that you've done. However, a lot of the stuff that we get caught up on, it don't take any of that. So I just want to make sure that I do my due diligence by saying, your delay does not only delay you, it is delaying the people that are called to you, the people who are assigned to you, and it delays the breakthrough and the generational impact and all of these things that we talk about. And so if you, the QR code is on the screen, I'm gonna leave it up there for maybe like another few seconds. Make sure you go and book your session. And it's also in the comments. Okay, so Danielle dropped the link in the comments. So also, I want to encourage you to stay connected with us. Now, y'all already asked if we was doing this again, and we're not going to be a one hit and a wonder. So make sure that you scan the QR code, put in your name and your email address so that we can stay connected. We are not going to bombard you with sales emails, but we want to stay connected to every single person who took it serious, who thought it was not robbery for them to come and join us today, who took time out of y'all's day, y'all lunch hour, wherever y'all at, and whatever y'all are doing, to come and join us here. So make sure you click or scan the QR code. The link is also in the comments, and get on the list so that we can stay connected, because I believe, and again, we wanted to be a one hit and a wonder, but I believe that there is so much more that's going to come from this. And those of you who are connected to us, you'll get first access to whatever it is that we do when we go on live. If we popping up in your city, like whatever that looks like, you'll get first access to all of those different things. So make sure you scan the QR code, or you just click the link in the comments and you go. Even if you're watching this on replay, the links will still be active, but move quickly. That's all I'll say, is just move quickly.
We really limit it. It's Freedom Friday. When you have freedom, you have the liberty to move, right? So you're not being held down by your past thoughts or your past. Some of you think, oh, my past is just too bad to move forward. But God knows what that was already. He still gave it to you. So that's not holding you back. Like, he's not holding you back. You're holding you back, which goes back to why we even had this conversation about permission. You have the permission to move. God is not withholding things that are keeping you stagnant and keeping you still and on the sideline. It is Freedom Friday, and you're witnessing our Freedom of Friday. Yes. We put a link in the comments, and there's a QR code. There's no fancy website. There is no fancy, none of that stuff, because that would have held us back from doing this. We said, you know what? Hey, maybe we don't even need all that right now. Mm-hmm. And we're okay with that. We're okay with presenting it in the way that it is, in the form that it is right now, so the people that are assigned to it can get what they need. We're okay with showing up unfinished so you can be finished. We're okay with that. We okay with not being, oh, it's so fancy and it's other. And some of y'all might be watching right now and you be like, oh, well, I know I need to go live, and I do, but my background don't look like da-da-da-da. Baby, neither one of hers or mine used to look like this. Hey, it was a white wall. What you got? But we was going live. We was sitting in the car. So again, the excuses of not executing, we had to overcome them too. Yes. We're not coming to you as people like, oh, they always had it together. No, not at all. But we know what it takes to execute. So there are some things that you're not even going to ask that you're going to get the answers to. Yeah. And that's what I love about this space. There are going to be things that God just downloads and say, hey, tell them this. They need to know. They need to connect over here that you didn't even know to ask about, because that's just how good God is. And because he's trusting us with it. And he knows what when he trusts us with people, he knows we don't fumble.
That's right.
We ain't fumbled one yet. Now we didn't fumble on our own because we didn't did that stuff. But when he's called us to do something and assign to people, we got a winning record, not because of ourselves, but because of him.
Say that. Say that again. We have a winning record, not because of ourselves, but because of him. And I think on that note right there, baby, we're gonna leave y'all with that one. Because then I think again too, because the comments, of course, everybody in the comments don't know each other, but even just to see the people that have, these are people who've been connected to us for years, who've made investments, who've seen the returns on those investments if they've done the work and all of the things, but they are still connected. So we ain't fumbled a one, not yet. And we don't plan to. We have enough, and at this level, we have enough of high level executive resources and all the things to ensure that as long as we stay aligned with what God has said for us to do, baby, you in good hands like Allstate.
Look, and you not look, we in his hands, so we all in good hands, right? Like when you in our hands, we all in his hands, and so that makes a difference. Yeah. So we can confidently talk about this, because I know, well, me, I'll be like, oh, I don't know how to present an offer and all that stuff. No, this ain't nobody begging. No, either you moving or you're not. Like, oh, State Farm. So yeah, my people, State Farm. What's State Farm? Don't tell them I don't know. Like Jake, that's what I say. But we know, because it's like, no, God don't. I mean, he's gonna use our experiences and our expertise, but we're not coming to you as a novice, and we trying to like we're figuring it out together. But there's some structural things that are already figured out. Like we solid. There's a foundation. And we got people that are leading us that if it ain't solid, they're gonna get us together. Okay. So we good. We good. So I'm excited. I'm excited for the calls that have been scheduled, the ones that will be scheduled, because I know you're gonna get off and say, oh, should I do it? Should I do it? And because you're gonna be looking for permission from yourself. Oh, because you've invested before and maybe you didn't see the return, and you're like, oh, I don't want to do that again. And so you're gonna go back and forth. God is giving you permission to move forward. Yeah. Whatever that looks like. Stop going back on the past. Oh, well, what about when this happened? That ain't where we at. That's not where you at. It's Freedom Friday. We here. We showed up. We were obedient. We did what we were supposed to do. Now, are you gonna do what you're supposed to do? So yeah. That's all I got.
Well, that's all we have. We're going to decide when we coming back. And it won't be a month from now. It's going to be before then. We will be back, but make sure that if you're not already following us or connected with us on our individual social media channels. I am Jade Williams on Facebook. Danielle can be found at Danielle Bertrand on Facebook. Instagram and all the things. But I think for this conversation, we are here and we are excited. We are grateful that it's not only Freedom Friday for us, but it's also Freedom Friday for each one of you who have said, hey, I choose to execute. I choose to be an executor in this season. I'm no longer going to make excuses. So we are just overall, I think I can speak for both of our excited for those of you who have already booked sessions. Cannot wait to talk to you all. Those of you who, again, are going to watch this on a replay, make sure that you find the link in the comments and do what it is that you need to do. If nothing else, make sure that you just stay connected. Again, click the link, put in your email address and your name so that we can stay connected to those who are serious about executing, those who, again, thought it not robbery to come today and spend some time with us. So until next time, I think that is all. Bye.